Shut up!
Shut up!
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is Morning Somewhere! For October 8th, 2024, it's the 9th. My name is Bernie Burns. Sitting right over there. She knew it was the 9th all along. It's Ashley Burns. Say hi to Ashley, everybody.
We are mere weeks away from Halloween. I count the days.
Are you counting the days to Halloween? Look
Sort
at
of,
you.
Sort
you
of.
summer
I am.
child.
No, I am, but I'm doing it in sort of the opposite direction of, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I only have this many days to get kids' costumes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta admit, sorry kids, I'm looking straight past Halloween to the beginning of November, which we are also less than a month away from now.
What happens in November?
What could possibly happen in November? Nothing. It'll be just an average Tuesday in November. We'll see. But it's all, one way or another, it's going to all be over. It'll all be over for everyone.
Take your fleeting joy in Halloween while you can. That's what I'm getting from this.
For half the country, it'll all be over. For the other half, it's just beginning. It's ominous, man. It's getting ominous. We'll see. Anyway, what's going on in the world today, Ashley? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I've been a little bit preoccupied, definitely keeping an eye on this monster hurricane that's bearing down on Tampa.
Milton. They got to stop naming hurricanes after people. I don't think that's a good thing to
Look,
do.
I think that I agree with you. I think that we've come a long way. I'm grateful that they're no longer named exclusively after women because, come on.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, they used to be, I think, all female names.
I like that. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Watch out if you don't want Hurricane Ashley bearing down on you, okay?
Okay. One of the, it's an early hurricane. It would be no problem. The ones earlier in the season. Although the worst hurricane I was ever personally involved with that affected me was Hurricane Alicia, which would have been the first. It hit Houston. So that would have been early. It was Hurricane Alicia, and then Hurricane Harvey was a big one. I remember when I helped my buddy recover from Hurricane Harvey, and it looked like, I did a vlog about it for Rooster Teeth, and it was like driving through this suburban Houston neighborhood. They basically cut all the houses because the flood waters got up to about 4 feet high. So they went through all the houses, and about 4.5 feet high, they cut out all the drywall. They cut them back to studs. In America, we build houses basically out of toothpicks and then put drywall over the top of it. But you could essentially, except for the stonework in the house, you could see through all the houses. But the really horrifying part of it was they just put all that stuff in the front lawns of all the houses. So driving through this neighborhood.
Did it look like dystopian barricades?
It looked like, remember, is it War of the Worlds where the plane crashes and there's all the debris when Tom Cruise goes into the basement and he comes out and it's just a suburban neighborhood, but it's demolished by this plane crash?
Well, you said Tom Cruise, so I'm going to go ahead and assume, yeah, that one.
Yeah, and it was like that. I mean, I could show you images from it because I was recording it the whole time, and it was just insane. And it was like one lane of traffic and tens of thousands of cars trying to get in to help people and things like that. It was wild. And there's a weird thing, too. You can feel, I think especially in Houston and Florida, Tampa, I got corrected, by the way. Tampa Bay is not the name of a city. I didn't know that.
But it's the name of a sports team.
It is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know why. And then I fell down a rabbit hole of looking at that because the only other sports team that I could think of that's not named for a specific city is the New England Patriots. That's the first one that came to mind. They were originally called the Bay Area Patriots, which Bay Area, I don't associate.
You don't get Bay Area, guys. You can't have Bay Area. Bay Area is taken.
Yeah.
By the Bay Area Giants.
49ers. It would be for the keeping it in football, yeah. Yeah, but it's Tampa, not Tampa Bay. There is no city named Tampa Bay. And I guess in the back of my mind, I always knew that, but why the hell did they call the Buccaneers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because that's most people exposure to Tampa as a city.
Well, not anymore. Now their exposure to Tampa as a city is going to be, oh, right, the one that got flattened by Milton. So
yeah.
It's been, it's making landfall tonight. If we're all very lucky, it won't be the monster everyone says it is. Maybe it'll run out of steam at the last minute. That can happen. But it's serious enough, Bernie. They're closing Disney World.
People are evacuating. Are they closing Disney World, really?
They're closing Disney World.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, just to give you some indication, there's a lot of families that are just stranded that were doing their big Disney World thing during the school year.
Did you know Disney World is not the name of the city? It's
It's the name of the bay.
I also heard this fact one time that Orlando has more direct flights than any other airport in its classification. Like, that's not like a London Heathrow or a Chicago O'Hare. Like, Orlando, you can get a direct flight anywhere else in the world. So if you're picking a place to live, maybe not this week, but Orlando could be the place to go.
I see, and that I suspect has a lot to do with Disney World. But right now, all the flights are getting canceled. People can't get out if they had flown in. I read a story about, like, there's a family of people who, you know, they hired a campsite at Disney World and they're all being evacuated into the hotels. And so there's a lot of people who went to the Magical Kingdom and are going to be hunkering down. Let's hope they get the mascots out dancing in the hallways.
And the
kids will still have a great time.
You can look down your nose at the people who decided to go anyway. But
Well,
those vacations
they
are
were
fucking
planned out.
expensive, dude. Like, to go to Disney World is like a mortgage now to go to that place.
I think it's also worth noting that this hurricane seems like a bit of a surprise to everyone. It's not like someone booked 2 days ago. There are people who've been there for several days. Like, they've been at Disney World since before this hurricane got its big upgrades.
I was here when it was a tropical depression.
They're going to be handing out buttons in the lobby.
Back when we all called him Milty. Now he's Milty. Serious business. Yeah, but it's a big one. Got to be careful once again when you talk about this. Don't make any decisions based on two people yapping on a podcast, for sure. But if there's a ray of sunshine, a lot of times when they predict something's going to be really, really terrible, most of the time, in my experience, it's not as bad as they predict, but they want you to act on it as well. The huge exceptions are massive exceptions, like Katrina. They were like, this thing's going to be terrible, and it was really terrible. There were other factors involved with it, but, you know, usually when they say something's going to be super, super bad, at least from our experience in Austin, we would always get these cells, remember, that would come in, and they'd say, like, it's going to be horrible, it's going to be the worst. And then it would arrive and was like, what was that? Why did we all, like, go crazy for it? I hope that's the case.
Was that rain the thing that we were worried about?
Yeah.
That was it? Yes. But I think that the reasons people are worried about this one are things that are going to be less changeable, things like it coming from the west.
We had a meteorologist weigh in on our subreddit, came in and
Thank you, meteorologist Steve.
Came in and told us why a hurricane coming from the west to the east and originating in the Gulf of Mexico, why on a meteorological level that is a worse thing than the typical pathway where they come from the Caribbean up from the east to the west.
And it has to do with the spin. And I don't mean the right wing versus the left wing spin and how they're treating this, okay? I mean the actual counterclockwise spin or anti-clockwise if you're, I don't know, metric units. Metric seems to spin differently.
If you're on metric time, yeah, that's it's going to be a different spin for you people. But do the clocks in Australia, do they go the same way?
The clocks?
Yeah.
That depends if you put them in a toilet bowl and flush them.
Why didn't they reverse them for the Coriolis effect like everything else? But yeah, so the other thing I think about Tampa, which reading about this, one of the other things that can be a factor that contributes to all of this is when something disastrous hits an area that's not used to dealing with those things. We saw that in Western North Carolina when Helene came in and got so far inland, there was massive flooding in areas where there's just usually not that amount of flooding. We see it in Austin when an ice storm hits Austin and we're not used to ice in Austin and it paralyzes the whole city and knocks the power out.
And it's really easy for people in, say, Minnesota to go, well, get out your snowplows and just plow the roads and get that thing fixed. Austin doesn't have snowplows because they don't get those storms. It's just cities that don't deal with these things on a regular basis just don't have the infrastructure to deal with a lot of these unusual events, like crazy flooding. You know, if they're in an area that doesn't get that, they're not going to have all these specific like runoff dams or grading on the roads that to get runoff. There's just, if you don't deal with certain weather effects, you don't plan for certain weather effects.
And Tampa, from what I'm reading, seems to be one of these areas. You would think that anyone in Florida would be well equipped to deal with a hurricane, but that's not necessarily the case.
Now, alligators, they're all well equipped to deal with.
Right. Or when, Disney World has a sale or whatever. How far is Tampa from Orlando? It seems like it's pretty far away. I mean, Orlando is closer. I think of Orlando as being more central.
It's an 85-mile drive, not as
that's
the
nothing to a
bird
hurricane.
flies, but it's still a fairly direct route. So it's 85 miles from Tampa to Orlando. It says that if the hurricane takes a car in moderate traffic, they can make it in an hour and 38 minutes.
Yeah. An hour and 38 minutes. 85 miles. What's that like? I remember those days. Wow. 85 miles here would be like 3 hours. Yeah. Yeah. But good luck to everybody. I did make the comment yesterday that I hope if you're listening to this from the Tampa Bay area, that you're listening in your car as you're evacuating. Somebody said that's exactly what I was doing. I was evacuating while listening to the podcast.
Good.
So
get out, stay safe.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
And
It's
if
just
you're
a waiting
in
game at this
Brazil,
point.
you can live tweet the hurricane.
Well, if you're a Brazilian person who is vacationing at Disney World, you'll still be able to tweet because now you've got. Congratulations, Brazil! You got out. You didn't have Twitter, and now you got it back. Good for you.
Well done. Yeah. So
Jesus.
if you'll remember, Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, has been shut down in Brazil for a while over some kind of fees and taxes, some kind of court. There's been legal action.
Do you actually know what
action.
it is? It's escaped me now. There's been like 50 other things about Twitter since then.
Why
were they shut down in Brazil?
I did know it had something to do with originally Brazil was asking them to take down certain tweets or accounts, Twitter was refusing to comply.
That's what I remember.
I believe they then hit Brazil. So Brazil legally hit them with some fees, which then they were refusing to pay. I remember Starlink got roped into it at one point.
Yep.
And they've cleared it all up. They've paid the fees. I think they had to establish a legal entity in Brazil to represent the company within Brazil. They have done so. So X, formerly known as Twitter, is now allowed to function in Brazil again. I'm going to be very curious to see how many people in Brazil end up back on Twitter. I know that after it shut down, there was these huge exoduses to the alternatives like Blue Sky and Mastodon and Threads as people were finding new ways or new places to communicate with Twitter sort of out of the picture. And I'll be very curious to see how many people go back or if they found the new place and went, oh, actually, this is much better. And decide
Isn't
to
that
stay.
exactly what everyone else has gone through with Twitter? Can I just say too, I make a lot of like near future predictions on all these podcasts I'm on. And you can put together a spreadsheet and like evaluate my track record. I got Twitter right. Like I got off, put my money where my mouth is. I got off Twitter, 6 years ago?
Yeah, you were one of the first people I ever heard about essentially nuking their account and just leaving.
Did I ever tell you one of the main reasons why I did that though? I didn't like Twitter and I was not liking social media in general. I thought it was a waste of all of our energy and it was making people hypercharged and super emotional. And this is before Elon Musk bought the fucking thing. Did I ever tell you though, one of the things I sat down and did and was like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Do I want to know?
I don't think you do.
Okay, then
I
I
have a spreadsheet.
Then I definitely do. Hit me with it.
I have a spreadsheet right here. Okay, so here's what I did. I took when you go on your own X account, if you look at your profile, it'll tell you how many tweets you have. Do you want to tell me how many tweets you have? I didn't have that much compared to all of my other influencer friends. Actually, I had like 10,000 tweets total.
Yeah, I've got, like 14,000?
14,000. Okay, so here's what I did. I looked up what is the average character count for tweets? What is the average word count for a novel? And the average word count for a novel is somewhere between 70,000 and 95,000 words in your average novel. So I calculated how many novels I could have written if I would have spent my time writing novels instead of writing tweets.
Oh, I'm not sure that's something I want to know because I just went and checked my profile. I'm at 14.8 thousand tweets.
Let me punch that in my spreadsheet
So,
here.
oh God. So if a tweet is up to 280 characters.
280 characters in a tweet is what you can put in maximum. Average of about, looked it up, 5 characters per word. Used, what's your baseline to get to a novel? The lowest estimates I can find were 70,000.
No. What am I writing? A novella? No, absolutely not. I want a doorstopper. We're talking 100,000.
Come on. I'll put you at 100,000 words, which is the upper end of a big novel. So that averages out to 1,780 tweets per novel. So every 1,700 tweets, every 1,800 tweets, let's round up, you would have written a novel.
That feels wrong. That feels
So
wrong. I
at
need that to be wrong.
14,800 tweets by Ashley. I'm going to call this metric novels lost. We have lost 8.25 novels.
Oh, shit.
That you could have written if you weren't busy like, oh my God, I'm at the bakery. Hopefully
And I can't even make myself finish one. Oh, no.
or whatever you're doing. And then I even did another one, which is if you do 4 tweets per day, if you say you're just like, tweeting about whatever, like
Sure. At the height of my tweeting, I would definitely have been doing that.
in line at Starbucks, hope they spelled my name right. And that's not even counting like the picture and all the other shit you do in there as well. You would have written a novel every 400 days.
Well, and remember, Bernie, a picture is worth 1,000 more words.
I don't even have a metric for that in here. That would be terrible. So you write a novel basically every 7,000 pictures.
All right, I'm gonna do my.
Wait, no. It's every 70 pictures you write a novel.
I'm going to do myself a big favor just for my mental health. I'm going to remind myself that Twitter used to be 140 characters, and that's when the majority of my tweeting probably happened. So in my head, I've only lost a trilogy plus the sequel.
I'm telling you, man, that you look at that and I was just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What's the purpose of this? And I know some people make a good living on it. They're like tweeting all day and they're going to get a endorsement or something like that, and it leads to something. But it's just like when I looked at the amount of like creative energy I was pouring into this bucket, and then the bucket was just making me mad all the time. It was just like, what am I doing this for? Why am I involved with this? So
Right.
out.
Where's the payoff? Where's the payoff? You get a publishing deal? Nah, you're getting ads.
No. You know what I should not do? I should not calculate how much creative energy I'm wasting this week trying to figure out how to watch the Texas Longhorns play the Oklahoma Sooners.
From the UK?
I have a week to figure this out, how to watch a college football game from the UK. And I can tell you I'm going to spend the whole week trying to figure it out. I'm going to go to watch the game at like 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, and it's going to immediately start and then go to black and go, not available in your country or something like that. I'm not going to be able to figure this out. I'm not going to be able to figure it out.
We'll just go down to the sports bar. Oh, wait.
At 1 a.m. here in rural Scotland. You guys got the Longhorn game on? God. I mean, it would have been easier if Oklahoma was ranked higher. It is technically in the Cotton Bowl, but it's not the Cotton Bowl game. I know that's not going to make sense to anybody. It is probable it's going to be played over here, but even the people who have the rights to NCAA football in the UK, in this market, they might not even show this game. They might just, it's so ridiculous.
So here's my understanding. But if you're a local, if UKian who,
yeah, that's the word. Are you Yukonian?
who for some reason is interested in American college football and you know how to watch it from the UK, please let us know, because as I understand it, the rights are held by Sky Sports, but they will just choose 3 games per weekend to watch and to stream, and I don't know how to find out which games those are.
Apple TV has the same thing. They have this big agreement with Major League Baseball, and their big thing they do is we show a different game every Friday night or whatever. It's like Friday Night Baseball, and we pick a random team. It's like, that's not how anybody watches baseball. They watch one team. Does someone just go, I'm a lunatic. I'm psychotic. I just want to watch a baseball game with players I don't know.
Baseball. I hope they do great.
With the fucking Bay Area Patriots versus the Giants. Fuck off. God, why is it so hard? Why do they make it so goddamn difficult? Just let people watch the fucking games.
I feel like there should be some element where if you buy the rights to this sport in a specific region, you're obligated to show all the sport.
This is also another frustrating thing. Is like, I can't even throw money at this problem. Like, I can't even say, like, this game is so important for me to watch. I just want to watch the Texas Longhorns not lose to the Sooners. That's what I want. That's the game I want to watch.
To the who?
To the Oklahoma Sooners.
The Oklahoma Sooners. So you just want Oklahoma to lose. That's what you need.
No, I don't care what Oklahoma does. If they want to lose, they want to win. That's fine with me. As long as Texas doesn't lose, that's all I care about.
What, like a draw? Does college football do draws?
Actually, it's America. There's no draws in America. What's wrong with you? Draws.
Look, I don't know. Maybe it's Ted so.
Play to a tie.
We know that the soccer, the football here does draws.
No.
I learned that from Ted Lasso.
It's win or lose. That's it. So as long as Texas doesn't lose, I don't care what Oklahoma does. I want to be clear about this. They can do whatever they want to over there. As long as Texas doesn't lose, then I'm okay.
Maybe you can have a little chat with Milton.
I'm stressed out this week.
Talking into hanging a left and heading for Oklahoma.
And like these rivalries, they just fuck up a good season. Like the fucking Dodgers are down a game now in the postseason again to the Padres. This is it. This is everything I've been dreading now with these amazing seasons with the Dodgers and the Longhorns. And this week, both the Dodgers and the Longhorns could have their whole seasons ruined, right? This is it. This is it. It's right here. It's right in front of me. And I can't even watch it. I got to get updates on my goddamn iPhone like at 6 a.m. Fuck you.
Look, buddy, you were on top of the world. You had nowhere to go but down, okay?
That's true. When you're number one, and Texas is now number one. They are rated number one. Dodgers, most wins in the regular season in Major League Baseball. And this is it. This is where it all gets fucked up. I hate it.
Oh, speaking of number one, Bernie, we should quickly follow up on an item from last week. We have a king fat bear, or specifically it's a queen fat bear.
I would like to withdraw my previous endorsement of Chunk because I read some personal stuff in his private life that I don't agree with at all.
You found out that Chunk was a predator.
What did I find out?
The Chunk was a predator.
Well, the winner...
an actual predator.
He's an actual predator. He's an alpha predator, right?
A child predator.
Let's clarify. Although I don't know if the clarification is going to be any better. So the winner of Alaska's Fat Bear contest was...
Grazer.
Grazer won. Grazer was up against Chunk, who we previously on this podcast ignorantly said was our favorite bear. We did not know this, but earlier in the summer, Chunk the bear, this is on videotape, killed the cub of Grazer. So Grazer was in the finals against this bear that had killed her cub.
And then she came out victorious. I'm sure that Grazer the bear is so happy that with this internet poll,
dark story,
she finally has some justice.
Yeah, but she won the fat bear contest. But it is a reality of, the way nature is, because nature is fucking terrible. There's a video of the incident that happened because it's at a fishing spot for these bears. And you can see where all the enthusiasts in the comments were, people who watch these bears all the time outside of this big event that they have for
I
PR.
will say this video is worth checking out because I'm used to thinking of bears as these solitary creatures sprinkled across a mountain. There were a lot of bears in this river. A lot of bears just all hanging out, snapping up the fish.
And Grazer, who, mama bear, it was about half the size of Chunk, this big, huge brown bear. She tried to fight him off and couldn't fight him off. It was a very dramatic thing, but now she has won the Fat Bear contest. And so now she's the winner of that. I don't know that anything comes from that, but congratulations to Grazer and this real-life drama that is surrounding it.
There's one other thing as well that we should make sure that we tackle today. This is more of a housekeeping thing.
That video I could watch in 2 seconds.
Nope, I had to turn it off as soon as Chunk went for the bear.
That
for
video,
for the little cub.
I typed in 3 words and I could see that video, and I regret watching that video. I can't watch the goddamn Longhorns play Oklahoma Sooners. What is wrong with this world? Brazil, you fucked it up for everybody. I'm not sure how. Brazil, I'm blaming you this week. You're the fucking problem. You and your fucking highlight or whatever you do down there.
All right.
And also, speak Spanish. You're in South America. Fucking give up on the Portuguese stuff. Speak Spanish, for fuck's sake.
Nope. We're cutting it off there. Housekeeping
We just got
items.
banned in Brazil.
Housekeeping items. So you may have noticed if you are listening to this podcast via Spotify that something has changed this week. We figured out how to unify and sync up our regular Spotify feed with our Patreon feed, which means that you will see Patreon exclusive content on the regular feed as well. It does mean that you may see daily episodes appear to be locked for a couple minutes if you're on the regular feed and you don't have the Patreon subscription. That is not we're not locking regular episodes behind the paywall. It's just that we publish the Patreon episodes a little bit earlier, and you'll be seeing those episodes before the regular episode comes out. So if you see a lock on a regular episode, don't worry. The regular one will be coming out at the normal time.
Unless you're in Australia, where the clocks all run backwards. We learned today. All right, sorry I was in a bad mood today, everybody. Even the little silly story came with a dark edge to it
got
today.
so worked up. Okay, well, let's get you out of here. I'd like to thank today's sponsors, Matt W. and 4Pony. Thank you both for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere.
All right, well, that does it for us today, October 9th, 2024. We will be here to talk to you tomorrow. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.